Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing an updated version of the How I Grew My Hair Long Naturally video. I did this video a long time ago, like a year ago when I first started my channel, and I really wanted to remake it because at the time I feel like there were a lot of tips that I kind of left out or that I didn't explain very well. I really had no idea how to film a YouTube video, so I feel like it was very all over the place. I also recommended a lot of products in that video that I no longer would recommend, so I feel it was just better to redo it completely. I'm going to hopefully be including some pictures if I can find some and if they're not too embarrassing. But before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and let's just get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is everybody's hair is different. The rate at which your hair grows is different. It depends on your genetics, it depends on your ethnicity, it depends on your diet, your stress levels, your lifestyle. What works for me might not work for you. The rate at which my hair grows might not be the same at how fast your hair grows. The amount of hair you get, like how thick it is, that's all very, very personal. So all of these things I'm mentioning are just what I did and what worked for me. These are also things that I recommend to you guys on Instagram when you DM me, and a lot of these things have worked for you guys as well. So if you try this out and it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. You gotta, like, that's kind of the fun part about growing your hair. It's like trial and error, and you find things that work and you find things that don't. So just keep that in mind, especially when I'm recommending products and stuff like that. And let's just get into it. So I guess I'll give you like a little background about my hair, especially if you're new here. You probably don't really know, but my hair was always really, really short. Like I said, I'm gonna have some like pictures up here, but my hair was always pretty short as a kid. I had really curly hair when I was little, which is funny because now my hair is like not curly at all, but it was usually kept pretty short. And as I got older, I went through phases obviously where I liked having it short. I had the side bang thing going on in grade 8, and I guess it was like grade 7, grade 8, grade 9. I was really into like heat styling my hair. I would wash it every single day. I would curl it every day, put mousse in it, scrunch it, hairspray it. Just basically all the horrible things that I could do to my hair, I would do. And not to mention the kinds of products I was using on my hair were not the best. At the time, I was just using whatever 13-year-old me could grab at the drugstore, and I didn't know that there were better drugstore options than what I was using. So I was using pretty crappy products on my hair. Fast forward to like grade 9 and grade 10, I really wanted to grow my hair out, so I stopped using heat. I stopped doing all the things that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and I started to see some real results in my hair. So I'm 20 years old now, and I'll show you guys how long my hair is. But it does reach past my hips, right to the top of my thighs. So that's about how long my hair is. The last time I measured it, it was 34 inches, and I measured it in the beginning of May, or yeah, I guess it was the beginning of May. I have a video up here. I'll have it up in the cards. I guess it would be on the side. I'll have it up in the cards for you guys. It's my summer hair growth challenge video, so I haven't measured it since starting that challenge, but at the time it was 34 inches. So the first and most important thing you guys need to do when you want to start growing your hair is make sure that you're eating a healthy, balanced diet. Whatever happens on the inside of your body is going to affect the outside, so whether it's your skin, your hair, your energy levels, all that kind of stuff, it's gonna start from the inside. So make sure that you're eating a healthy, balanced diet, lots of fruits and veggies. Make sure that you're getting all the nutrients and vitamins you need. Also make sure that you're drinking enough water. That's one thing that I struggle with. I'm like really bad at drinking water, but I try to drink at least 3 mason jars of water a day because that's equivalent to like 12 glasses. So since I've been doing that, I noticed a big change in my skin as well as in my hair. Not only will it help it to grow, but it will also keep it a lot more hydrated. So your new hair that's coming out will be nice and hydrated and healthy, as opposed to really brittle and dry. My second tip that I think actually changed my hair the most was getting away from products that have silicones, sulfates, and alcohols in them. So this is like a little controversial. Like the long hair community, or like the hair community in general, I find is like very divided. People either love silicones and sulfates or they absolutely hate them and stay away from them. And again, this is all personal preference. Like some people really like the way these products make their hair feel. I personally don't, and since I've stopped using them, I've noticed an amazing improvement in my hair. Since I've stopped using them, my hair has only gotten better, and I've only seen better results. Silicones are an agent that are most commonly found in things like conditioner, shampoo a lot of the time as well, leave-in conditioners, serums, anything like that that's supposed to make your hair feel softer, give it more slip, so like detanglers even, heat protectants, anything like that, usually has some form of silicone in it. And what silicone does is it seals the hair cuticle, so it gives your hair that really nice, soft, and shiny look and feel because it helps to lay your cuticle down flat. The issue with this is while it locks moisture in, it can also prevent moisture from coming in the hair itself. So once everything's locked in and the cuticle's sealed, it kind of stays that way. And a lot of silicones, especially the cheaper kind that you would find in like cheaper shampoos and conditioners like at the drugstore, they're very hard to wash out because they're not water soluble. The ones that are not water soluble definitely have a tendency to build up on the hair, and over time that can cause a lot of dryness, a lot of frizz, and it can really weigh your hair down. So if you find that you're using hydrating products from the drugstore or hydrating products that may contain silicones in them and you feel like your hair is just getting drier over time, it could be silicone buildup. A lot of these ones that aren't water soluble, the only way to get rid of them is with a sulfate shampoo. And sulfates are detergents or like surfactants that are the foaming agent in your shampoo. So what gives your shampoo that nice lather that most of us really love, it's actually a sulfate. And sulfates are commonly found in pretty much any kind of detergent, so like dish soap, laundry detergent, anything like that, like body soaps, body washes. And the point of them is to remove oil and remove dirt. So they do a really good job at cleaning your hair, but the problem with sulfates is that most of the time they can overly wash your hair or overstrip your hair of oils that it needs. The oils that your scalp produces are extremely important for not only your hair but for your scalp as well. So if your scalp is lacking those natural oils and the natural sebum that it produces, a lot of the time it can start to overproduce oil. Similarly to when you don't put moisturizer on your skin and it gets more greasy, it's because your skin is overproducing oil. Your scalp will do the same thing. So a lot of people that suffer with really oily hair, the first thing I recommend is to get away from the sulfates in shampoos because it can really make a difference. I personally like to stick to silicone and sulfate free products as well as alcohol free as much as possible. I do have a video on alcohols, the good and the bad ones, because there are good alcohols, so that will be up in the cards as well. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. I just don't want this video to be super long. My shampoo and conditioner that I'm currently using are by Feel Good, etc. I love their products so much. I will leave a link of brands that I love down below that are silicone and sulfate free. If you've been following me for a while, you already know I love the Innate Life. I love Calia. I've been using Feel Good, etc. for a while now. Rocky Mountain Soap Company is also really good. Acure, there are so many out there that are also really affordable, so I'll leave them all down below and you guys can check them out if you're curious. Silicones can also be found in things like hair serums and hair oils. So I used to really like the OGX like coconut serum and like their argan oil serum, but I didn't know that there were silicones in them. Like I didn't do enough research at the time. So now I would much rather just use pure like 100% argan oil or pure macadamia oil or pure, just a regular pure oil. I find that getting the hydration my hair needs from like pure sources like that, like oils or butters or anything like that, it's just been way better on my hair. Your hair can also become dependent on things like silicones and sulfates, so I figure that using the most natural products that I can use have just been better on my hair in general, because then when I go without them, my hair isn't as dependent on them, and I also don't have as much dryness and as much buildup as I used to. I used to feel like my hair would always just feel gummy or waxy after not washing it for a while, and since I've stopped using those products, I no longer have that issue. The next tip is probably something that you guys have heard in like every how to grow long hair video ever, but avoid heat. Heat is probably one of the most damaging things to hair, and it's also like the hardest to get away from, because who doesn't love heat styling their hair? Like obviously everyone does to some extent. I love curling my hair. I love having it super straight. But first it takes forever because now my hair is long, so like it's annoying to do. But I honestly, you guys, it's not worth it. There are so many really great ways to style your hair without heat. You can do heatless waves, heatless curls. The only thing I haven't figured out yet is like straightening your hair without heat, other than blowing it dry with cold air. But if you have like really curly hair, I feel like that wouldn't be as effective. So if you have any like good straight hair with no heat, leave it down below in the comments, because a lot of people ask me that, and that's actually one thing that I have never tried. So leave your tips down below, you guys. But heat is really damaging. It can really dry out the hair, it breaks it, and honestly I think every natural hair type is beautiful. So I know a lot of us get really caught up in using heat, and you start to rely on it, and you feel like your natural hair doesn't look as good without heat, or you feel better with straight hair, you feel better with curly hair, or whatever the case may be. That was a struggle of mine when I first started going no heat. I had a really hard time like learning to enjoy my natural hair texture because I always had it curled. So using heatless hairstyles like braids, cute buns, cute ponytails, things like that really helped me to learn how to enjoy my natural hair as well as protect it while I was out during the day. My next tip is to get trims when you need them. So there's a huge myth that if you trim your hair more, it'll grow faster. That's not true, but the logic behind it, like I get why people would think that. So if you have a lot of split ends, the problem with split ends is that they'll break off. So if your hair is this long and it's constantly breaking off because of split ends, even if you're growing half an inch of growth per month, which is like the average amount of growth people get, if you're growing half an inch of growth per month from your scalp, but you're breaking half an inch off at your ends, you're not going to feel like you're seeing any growth or any progress. So it's not that your hair isn't growing, it's that all your length is breaking off. The point of trims is to get rid of that breakage, so when you do grow half an inch a month, you're actually retaining that length and it's not breaking off on the ends. So a lot of people will get a trim and think that it made their hair grow faster, but that's actually not the case. You're just getting rid of stuff that's breaking off, so you're actually starting to see the amount of growth that you were normally getting but was breaking off before. Another tip that you guys probably hear all the time on these hair videos is don't wash your hair often, but honestly, like, it's so true. You really don't need to wash it that often. I wash my hair about twice a week in the summer and once a week in the winter time. Again, this is a personal preference, though. I know a lot of people can't go that long. It doesn't feel comfortable. Their scalp gets irritated, so that's totally up to you. The less you wash it, the less stripped your scalp will be, and the more your hair will benefit from your scalp's natural oils. So if you have like really dry hair like I do, maybe taking back the wash days will actually help you to retain some moisture in your hair and be able to grow it out a little bit more. Also, if you have a really oily scalp, kind of like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you're constantly washing off the oil, your scalp might actually be dry and therefore overproducing oils to try to compensate for how much of the oil that you're washing out with your shampoo and conditioner. So a good way to do this is, if you're washing it every day, start 1 week by doing it every other day, and when you kind of get used to that, push it and do it every 2 days, and then push it again and do every 3 days, and so on and so forth, until you find a routine that works for you. When I was really trying to get my hair growing, I started doing oil treatments, and I've talked about oil treatments so much. You guys are probably so sick of me talking about oil treatments, but I started using coconut oil once a week on my hair, and I would leave it overnight, and I would really make sure that I was massaging my scalp, and that's when I saw like a dramatic difference in the like texture and the integrity of my hair, and that in turn allowed me to grow it longer because it wasn't breaking off anymore. It was feeling a lot better. So obviously that, along with everything else that I just said, like about heat and everything, like all of that, and then plus the oil treatments, really kind of just got my hair into gear and like got it growing again, because my hair was really stuck at this length for a really long time. Coconut oil is super hydrating for your hair, and it also helps your hair to retain protein better than some other oils, so it's strengthening and hydrating at the same time. Now, if your hair is protein sensitive, I would recommend going to a different kind of oil like avocado oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed, almond oil, argan oil, any other oil that doesn't help your hair to retain so much protein, because if you have protein sensitive hair and you're adding more of that to your hair, it can have the opposite effect, and your hair might actually start to feel more brittle and dry and break off more. So this tip goes hand in hand with the last one, but giving your scalp a really good massage once a week or when you're applying oils is honestly going to help you guys so much. It's really good for stimulating blood flow, which promotes growth. Also, applying oils to your scalp and massaging it in is really good for promoting scalp health, and if your scalp isn't healthy, it's going to be really hard for you to grow long healthy hair, because obviously this is the root of your hair. So if you're having issues on your scalp, it's going to cause issues with your hair growth. Finally, this last tip kind of umbrellas a few other tips, so I figured I would just make it the last tip. But be gentle with your hair, you guys. You should be treating your hair like it's a soft fabric that you don't want to rip. Hair breaks very easily, so don't pull on it too much when you're washing it. Don't use a towel to like dry it really roughly. A tip that I have is to use a cotton t-shirt instead of a towel, especially if you have like really frizzy hair. That helps a lot, but don't brush it when it's wet. I understand that if you have curly hair, you might need to brush it when it's wet, so obviously when you're doing that, you'd want to use your fingers or a wide tooth comb, or just be very gentle when you're doing so. But yeah, being gentle with your hair is very important, because you don't want to break it or do unnecessary damage by accident. So even when you're using hair ties, I try to use ones like these little fabric ones. Obviously this would not hold my hair in a bun or a ponytail, but these are great for like little braids and stuff, because as you can see, there's no metal clasp or anything on it, so when I take it out of my hair, it doesn't pull anything out. When I sleep with it in a braid, or you can sleep with it in a loose bun, or like on a satin pillowcase or something. Just anything that would cause extra damage to your hair that's unnecessary, I try to avoid doing, or I try to be conscious of. Even when it's like really windy outside, or in the winter here in Canada when it gets really cold, I try to keep my hair in a braid or like in a low bun or something where it's protected from the wind and it's not rubbing putting on my jacket. I know it sounds like there's so much that you can't do when growing out your hair, but honestly, you guys, like, I try to follow all these tips as closely as I can, and I still have so much fun with my hair. I still find so many different ways to style it and so many amazing products that I never would have discovered, and like I honestly will never go back to like traditional drugstore shampoos and conditioners. The brands that I've discovered and the products I've discovered through trying to go as natural as possible, I just find so much better, not only for my hair but for my skin. You also have to remember when you're washing your hair, like, the products that you're washing out are going on your skin, are going down the drain, are going into our water system. So I try to be conscious of that as well. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm not like a wood sprite fairy where I just have everything that's like made out of the earth. But like, I really try to be conscious of chemicals that I'm putting on my body. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I hope that you guys try out some of these tips, maybe if you haven't thought of them yet. And if you have tried them, let me know what your experience was down below. But yeah, so I hope this video helped you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!